Christians are complaining about the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games. Now, I thought it was quite boring personally, but they are complaining about all the mockery of their God. And so many of them are pointing out to a couple of things. This is one of the primary things that they're complaining about, that they're saying that, oh, this is a mockery of Jesus at the Last Supper. And they put up there a transgender person and a bunch of LGBTQ people as well. And they're just making a mockery of Jesus' Last Supper. Well, I would tell them this: Jesus' Last Supper is actually a mockery of this. If you have no idea what this is the god Dionysus. Dionysus, yes, that very same god Dionysus, who was born of a miraculous birth from a god to a mortal woman, and then Dionysus, who changed water into wine, and Dionysus, who also rose up into the heavens, and that very same Dionysus who would have festivals in the woods with a table and food, celebrating with his followers, his acolytes. This is probably the idea of where the Last Supper actually came from. The fact that Dionysus is very relevant to the Greek as well as the French people in their history, that is the reason why Dionysus is up there, who is blue and often painted blue, is up there with those followers of his who are just in merriment, celebrating the fact that they are together and they're drinking wine that Dionysus made and eating a whole bunch of food. So it has absolutely nothing to do with your Jesus. Your Jesus probably copied Dionysus. And let's look at this guy.
Something else I just discovered. So I'm sitting here like, okay, this is really weird. They're carrying the flag to the pole. She's just walking. Everybody's in fans. Everybody's doing that. This mysterious person of death. And then look at what happens when they turn the camera in a second. What do you see? Right there, people. Why is that there? Why? If you understand, you understand. Wake up, people. And I rewinded just to let you know something else. Now, what's another little mystery in this, and maybe they didn't even mean to do this part, but look how when they look at the person in a different view, wow, you have a choice, people. You going for Satan, or are you going for Yeshua? Which one?
I'll take ignorance for 1,000. I'll take ignorance for 1,000. So, three things that this person talked about. He briefly mentioned the fact that he called the lady Death, which he is quoting Revelation 6. Revelation 6 says that, and then there was a white horse, and the rider who rode upon him, his name was Death. First of all, it's a him. The woman who was riding a horse and was walking up the, I haven't spoken French in so many years, I'm not even going to butcher their language. The woman who was walking up there, it's a woman. And she's a member of the police force in France. Actually, it's a military police force throughout France. But she's a woman, okay? And then the aspect of it is, so he's trying to make Revelation 6 fit with this. And it says that they will kill a third of the population and death will follow from it. But this rider and the beast and all this kind of stuff, but this rider has absolutely nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with hell. It has nothing to do with the beast. It has nothing to do with any of these things. And the beast is supposed to suffer this head wound and then come back in 3 days. And that was their thinking as far as Nero, who they thought suffered a head wound, but that he didn't die and he would return and reconquer Rome. So this was all about Rome. It had nothing to do with what's going on in Paris right now. So that part. Second one, the bull that is up there, it is not just a bull, it's a bull and a deer, and it's a sculpture that was created in the 1800s and then redone in the 1930s for the French World Fair. I've been there myself in Paris, and it's actually surrounded by a big old fountain. So if you are going to use the Churicario, I'm probably saying it wrong, as your ceremonial place, then you have to stop right there because of the big fountain. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. You have to make such an incline that it wouldn't be the right thing to do, the most efficient way to conduct your ceremonies, to do that. So that portrait, which was done almost 100 years ago, well, it was done over 100 years ago, but was redone almost 100 years ago, actually represents, the bull is representing power and strength, and the deer, the fawn, is a representation of gentleness and kindness, and the two of them together, that in our strength and in our power we can also be gentle and kind. And the last thing, the two things in the back that he made look like it was eyes are not eyes. If you look at it when she first starts walking up, you can see the dove wings appear, and that's what they represent, dove wings. And dove wings are a representation of peace, and the Olympics is supposed to be about peace through athletics. So it amazes me how far Christians will reach for things in order to validate their insecurities concerning their religion. Now, I will admit, even for myself, there was too much LGBTQ influence in it. It was almost like they were trying to push that into, push that into the Olympic ceremony. And the French organizers have said that they wanted their Olympics to be a message about inclusiveness, which most Olympics have a broader political world message to it, and that's the one that they chose, which is why you saw a lot of what you saw concerning the LGBTQ community, because that is the community that they put up as the we need to have peace about them having their rights. Whereas if you actually look at the world, it is countries that are being subjected to the bigger countries, the G7s of the world, who are actually doing more damage to the world than anybody else. It is your America, your China, your Russia, your England, France, Germany, all these countries who are still taking advantage of more undeveloped countries. If you wanted to symbolize something or push any agenda, that should have been the agenda as far as the world is concerned. Because although I respect and I understand what the LGBTQ community have been through and are still going through, that is like I'm dangling the chains over here so that you won't see what I'm doing over here. You won't see that I'm taking natural resources from undeveloped countries. I'm forcing undeveloped countries to put my bases in their country. I'm forcing them into bad economic deals. I'm going to use the fact of my bully pit to be able to force them into situations that will maintain their subjugation. That is a larger world problem. Not that anybody else's suffering is minimized, but that is a larger world problem, and that is something that should be emphasized more than anything else. So there was a lot of that, too much of that for my taste. But what this Christian is talking about is a severe reach to try to say that that is what they are representing. Others try to say that that is Moloch and they're doing a child sacrifice and all these sort of things. There is no God Moloch. Moloch is the child sacrifice, and ancient Israelites practiced the Moloch. So you might want to do a little bit more studying and a lot less conspiracy Christian theories. Have a great day, and remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.